Here are 5 albums that changed music in the 1970s. For better or for worse, music changed drastically in the 70s, splitting off in every which direction. Black Sabbath's 1970 self-titled debut was a defining moment for heavy music, which would later be dubbed metal. Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd is the obvious one here, but it can't be left off the list. This album changed what it meant to make an album. Tapestry by Carole King, arguably one of the biggest albums of the decade, came along at a time when the women's movement was taking hold and the authentic singer-songwriters like Carole and her friends Joni and James were taking center stage. An underrated album of the 70s that had a huge impact on future music was the New York Dolls' self-titled debut in 1971. This is one of those records that was heard by very few at the time, but every single person who heard it would be profoundly affected. The soundtrack for Saturday Night Fever. Featuring the Bee Gees, Kool and the Gang, Casey and the Sunshine Band, this album actually helped kick off the whole disco craze, which, even though it was short-lived, would have an influence on music for decades to come.